in there. So today I would like to start in a supported back bend. So if you do have a block or a stack of books handy, or you could use a cushion from the couch, something that's a little firmer will be nice. We're just going to come into supported bridge pose to get started. So just take a minute to go gather that up if you need to. And then as you're ready, you're just going to come onto your mat, setting up for bridge pose. So feet hips distance apart, knees lining over your ankles, edges of the feet parallel with the edges of the mat. From here, you're going to press into your feet, start to lift your hips up. And I would suggest going low, starting out. So if you're usually on the highest part of the block, maybe go to the middle height, maybe the lowest height. So let this feel really mellow. You could also roll up your mat here if you don't have something handy and just slide that underneath your sacrum. And again, you do want to make sure that you're not in the lumbar spine. So the block goes a little lower than we think sometimes. It should feel pretty comfortable as you release your sit bones down towards the floor. So you should feel supported and steady there. And then play around with your arms here. So by the side, palms facing forward might feel nice. You might want to take the arms out a little wider. They could come out in a T shape. Sometimes a cactus shape feels really good here. Wherever you're at, try to find lots of length in the back of your neck. It's like you're stretching out. And then if they're not closed already, go ahead and close your eyes. Let's take a deep inhale here together. And then open your mouth, sigh the breath out, sigh out Monday so far, let it all go. And you do that a few more times. This feels good in your body this morning. And then you eventually just start to fall into your Ujjayi breath. So that inhale through your nose, that exhale through your nose, creating that soft rush of air in the back of your throat. Trying to keep the inhale and the exhale really nice and even. You can count the breath if you need to help you find that. Mostly though, just soaking up these initial quiet moments of our practice. And it might take you a moment to dip into that quiet place. But know that you're moving in that direction. Give yourself permission to go there. Give your body permission to really relax. Feel those shoulder blades get heavy on the floor underneath you. Feel the feet pressing evenly. Feel those hip plates on that prop that they're on, just releasing down. Quiet and breathing here. When your attention wanders, come back to that sound of your breath. Good. And then on your next inhale, let's go ahead and reach our arms up overhead. So you might just stay like this. The shoulder blades might even lift up off the mat a little bit, palms face towards each other. Maybe you play with interlacing your fingers and then pressing the palms to face behind you. Feel the inner arm start to wrap towards the outer arm, so you're widening across the backs of the shoulders. getting nice and long through the sides of the waist. So feeling that extension. Good, and then if your fingers are interlaced, you can just keep them here. Otherwise, palms are just facing towards each other. Take a nice deep inhale. And then as you exhale, start to reach the wrists forward. And then you can go ahead and release. Arms come by your side. Go ahead and press into your feet. Lift your hips up off the block. Just move it out from underneath you. And then lower down here. And then let's give the knees a nice little gentle squeeze into the chest. You might even be holding the thighs here. Rock and roll a little bit from side to side. And then let's just start to get into the core a little bit. So we're going to do a few different things here. So bring your arms out in a T shape. Keep your knees hugging in. Try to keep those knees stacking on top of each other. Take a nice deep inhale here. As you exhale, keep shoulder blades heavy, especially that left one, but start to drop your knees off to the right. They may not hit the floor, that's fine. Inhale, come up to center. And then exhale, knees drop off to the left. Keep rooting down into that right shoulder blade. Inhale up to center. Exhale, drop knees off to right. Good. Inhale up. And then exhale, they drop off to the left as you anchor into your right shoulder blade. And then continue like that. So just moving with your breath pace. So at a speed that's feeling good to you today. You might notice that you get some nice cracks in your spine as you do this. Kind of getting into these obliques here too. Your gaze can be straight up here. You might look in the opposite direction that the knees are falling if that feels okay. And then just observe as we continue to do this, how it starts to get a little easier. Things start to shift just a bit. Just do a couple more to each side. This is called stomach churning pose. All right, so when you've gone off to that left side, just go ahead and come back up to center. And then from here, actually keep the knees bent like this, and then a couple of options with your arms. So if there's any tenderness in your lower back, you're just gonna place your hands underneath your hips. That's gonna give you a little support and release. Otherwise, arms might be by your side. You might also reach them up overhead, and you could just start with arms by side and see how that feels, and then we'll go from here. So take a nice deep inhale, and let's kind of point our feet. So we're flexing and pointing at the same time, so it's like that Barbie foot. As you exhale, start to extend, right leg forward. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, extend that left leg forward. Inhale, back. Good. Exhale, extend right. Inhale in. Exhale, extend left. So you're moving pretty slow here. Just taking your time. Starting out, this doesn't feel like much of anything at all for a lot of us. Again, there can be some tenderness in your lower back. So adjusting by putting your hands underneath the hips feels good. Keep the legs really active. I want you to feel as though you're standing on them. So again, there's even this sensation of the toes kind of pointing up towards the ceiling or even reaching back towards your face. If you did want to reach the arms up overhead here, you might start to feel this a little more. And we're going to be here probably longer than we want, like a good minute or so. So just continue to move like this. If you need to take a little break at all, you're more than welcome to do so. Probably starting to get into the territory where we're beginning to feel this a little bit. So just observing that, keeping this nice, steady, smooth movement. Good work. Let's say about 5 more to each side. And when you've finished on that left side, so that left leg extends and then comes back in, just go ahead and hug both knees in, rock a little bit from side to side. Good. So giving yourself a little squeeze there. Let's find our bridge pose again, but this time let's take it active. So releasing your feet down to the mat, ankles underneath your knees, arms by your side. I want you to fire up the glutes a lot here to come into this. So in fact, let's take a nice deep inhale and notice how there's that natural curve in your lumbar. As you exhale, feel the lower belly pulling it up. You start to lose that curve so much so that you begin to press into your feet and lift up. Outer hip squeezing a lot. You're firing up the glutes, so they're working at about like 70, 80%. Really direct the tailbone forward. As you inhale, feel your chin, or rather your chest lift towards your chin. So really active glute bridge here. You're going to even feel that on the front of the legs a little bit. You're going to feel it in the hamstrings. Good. One more deep inhale. As you exhale, slowly lower down. And then from here, options. You can start to roll forward and back on your spine if that feels okay. If that's not in the cards for you today, you just roll off to one side or the other. We eventually come all the way up to our tabletop position. Nice. Good. And so we begin to set up for our cat-cow. So shoulders over wrists, fingers spreading, pressing evenly, hips over your knees. As you inhale, arch, feel your chest come forward through the gates of your shoulders. As you exhale, you move in the opposite direction, really press the mat away. Try to let the back of your neck lengthen and release. Inhaling, arching, nice work. These look good. And then exhaling, rounding in. You're just finding a pace that feels good in your body. Connecting that movement with breath, letting this feel like a little moving meditation. Maybe press down more into your shins. So really feel that connection of the shins to the earth. Good. As you inhale, come back to neutral spine. You're neither arching nor rounding. So feel the lower belly work. So it's pulling in and up a little bit. Feel those outer hips squeezing towards each other. As you inhale, right leg, left arm, lift and extend. Keep those right toes pointing down. That hip likes to open up. And then feel that left arm bone plug into the shoulder socket. See how long you can get here. Definitely a little balance pose. So the more you can engage the outer hips, kind of pull your belly in and up, and then really activate that lifted leg and arm, the more you're going to feel this. One more deep inhale. Exhale, release that side. Here we go. As we inhale, left leg, right arm. See how long you can get. Keep both hips facing down towards the floor. And your gaze can just be slightly ahead of your fingertips, so you're keeping the back of your neck nice and long. If you wobble a little bit, if you're feeling all of the little micro movements happening in your body, that's a good thing. Breath smooth and steady. Sometimes we start to hold it when we come into these balancing postures, so we just remind ourselves to find it again. Good deep inhale. Exhale, release down. We continue like that, moving with the breath this time. So just getting into the core a little more as we inhale, right leg, left arm. Exhale, gracefully release down. So a little bird dog here. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Good. Exhale, release. Keep legs active. Inhale, right leg, left arm. How long can you get? Nice work as you exhale, release. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Exhale down. Two more to each side, moving with your breath here. Again, trying to squeeze those outer hips in so you feel really solid and balanced and stable here. Good. And when you've completed that second round, just find a quick little child's pose. So big toes together, knees apart. Melt your chest back, stretch your arms forward. You can rest your forehead down on the mat. You can make a pillow with your hands. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And then open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. Find a little twist. So start to walk your arms off to the right, laying your belly down over that right thigh. Feel those left ribs wrap to the right. And then begin to walk hands back to center and off to the left. Wrapping right ribs towards that left thigh. It's like they're going to spin up towards the ceiling. Arms pretty active here, so you're thinking your downward facing dog arms. And then inhale, walk back to center. Stretch your arms so far forward that as you spread your fingers and press evenly, your forearms start to lift up off the mat. Feel that widening across the backs of your shoulders. Rock up to your tabletop. Your wrists should be slightly ahead of your shoulders. If they're not, walk your hands forward a little more and then curl your toes under. Shift your hips back, finding your first downward facing dog. And you can do anything that feels good here. Pedal back and forth between your feet, fidget around. If it just feels nice to be in a place of stillness, stay there. Nice job. And then real quick, peek between your arms. Make sure that they're shoulders distance apart and that you're spreading your fingers. Good. And then release your head back down. Check out your feet. They should be about hips distance apart. Little bend in the knees can always be nice this first downward facing dog, especially if you're tight in the hamstrings and the back. Good. Just a couple more breaths here like this. All right, keep your legs really active. Feel those sit bones stretch up, your heels melt back. Pull your lower belly in and up. As you inhale, you're gonna glide forward into your plank pose. So your shoulders are gonna land over your wrists. You might have to wiggle your feet back a little bit. So you wanna look like a plank here. So we're not dumping into the belly. We're not putting the buns up towards the ceiling. We're nice and flat. Forearms squeeze in towards each other, gaze slightly forward. Couple more breaths. It feels like you're gonna press the heels into the wall facing behind you. Good. Shift way forward on your toes, nice and slow here to the count of 5. Maybe you come to your knees. We lower, pass through our chaturanga. 5, 4, shoulder heads lift. 3, 2, 1. Nice work, Kyla. All right, let's stretch our arms forward. So pressing into the backs of your feet, palms face towards each other, just rest on your forehead. And kind of that same action that we did, so that bird dog in our tabletop, we're gonna do this on our bellies now. So as you inhale, right leg, left arm, head and chest lift. See how long you can get. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left leg, right arm, head and chest lift. Good, exhale, lower. Continue like that, just moving with your breath. Opposite arm and leg, trying to find lots of length and extension. Finding this little vinyasa here. Keep this idea, it feels like you're rolling to the outer edges of your feet, even when you're lifting a leg. Inner thighs are spiraling up towards the ceiling. Good. So the next time, so after you finish that left leg, right arm, just go ahead and lower down onto your forehead. Press into all 10 toenails. Feel those inner thighs spiral up. This time as you inhale, head, chest, arms, legs lift. So everything's coming up off the mat. You might not get very high. Feel those glutes squeeze a little bit. Keep that breath moving. And then take your arms out wide so you can just have your palms facing forward. You can always put your feet down here if you need to, especially if there's a lot of gripping in your lower back. Bend your elbows, bring your fingertips underneath your shoulder heads, and then go ahead and place your feet down. Here we are in our low cobra. As we exhale, we lower. Inhale, coil up using the muscles in your back, so not pressing into your hands. Nice work. As you exhale, lower down. Inhaling up. Good. Exhale, lower. This time we inhale up. We hold here for a breath or two. If you're ready to transition into your upward facing dog, drag your hands back. Check to see that wrist is underneath your elbows. Next inhale. Press into your feet. Press into your hands. So arms come to straight. But we keep that same feeling in our chest. So shoulder heads press back. Openness across the heart. Feel that gentle lift of your sternum. Gaze just kind of soft and steady out in front of you so you don't have to throw your head back here. From your upward dog, you can roll over your toes to your downward dog. If you're in your low cobra, press to your tabletop. Come into your downward facing dog. And then from here, we take a nice deep inhale. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, ha. And then start to walk your feet forward to meet your hands. Good. So feet can be close together. They can be hips distance apart. As you inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward, fingertips on floor, shins or thighs. Exhale, fold in. A couple more like that. Inhale, lengthen Ardha Uttanasana, shoulder blades squeeze in towards each other. Exhale, fold, lengthen through the back of the neck. Inhale, chest extends. Good. Exhale, fold in. Press into your feet, feel those arches lift. This time, stretch your arms out and up, coming to your extended mountain pose, Tadasana, nice work. As you exhale, hands come together at your hearts. All right, few half sun salutes here. Inhale, reach up. You can reach forward and up too if you don't have space to reach out. As you exhale, fold in. Feel those inner thighs spiral back as your sit bones stretch towards the ceiling. Inhale, chest lengthens. Good. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, press down into your feet. Stretch arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Two more on your own, moving with your breath. If you want to close your eyes, really get inside of these, feel free to do so. Mostly let them feel spacious. Let them feel really graceful. Breathe some room into your joints, your bones. Just kind of waking up the body here. Good. Nice work. So there's no rush when you're done with that second round. You're just standing together with your palms at your heart. And before we start to flow a little more, we're going to come into a little preliminary triangle pose. So if you use a block, if you have one handy or you have some books, go ahead and grab that. And we're going to step on the long edge of our mat. So legs nice and wide, edges of the feet parallel with the edges of the mat. From deep within the right hip socket, you're going to turn that leg out to 90 degrees. Your block can be behind that foot. Left toes turn in. If this stance feels a little too long to you, you can kind of heel toe that back foot in a little bit. All right, as we inhale, arms reach up. Put your brain down in the mound of the big toe, the inner heel of that right foot. So you're really pressing there to get this maximal hip opening. And then start to shift hips off to the left. Feel all of this length through the right side of your waist. Hold on to that as you continue to reach out. Your right hand could come to the thigh if you don't have a block, to the shin. Just don't place it on the knee. Block is nice though. You can adjust the height. And then we stack the arms on top of each other here. Good. Gaze can be down, forward. You might start to look up. Sometimes that doesn't feel good, this first triangle pose of the day, of the week. So you just find a spot where you feel good. But mostly try to find that extension through this right side. And then there's a little bit of a twist as right ribs roll up. But for today, let's actually think about all of that space a little more. Let's get into this top shoulder. So start to spin your palm to face behind you. Bend the elbow. Okay, so you can just press the back of your hand into your back. You can kind of grab a piece of shirt. A few of us might be able to get our fingertips to the inside of that right thigh. Just trying to find some leverage so you can press that left shoulder head back. And this is pretty intense, so keep breathing. Good work, Neil. Make sure that you're still sealing into the back edge of that left foot too. That actually kind of helps to inform that length that you're getting through the right side. So notice if you've lost any of that as we came into this wrap with the arm. Good. As you inhale, go ahead and extend that left arm up. Sigh of relief there. As you exhale, look down at your right toes. If you've got a block, you're going to grab it. As you inhale, press on up, and we'll take that to the second side. So parallel your feet, move the block behind the left ankle. So big hip opening happening in this left leg here. Turn that leg out to 90 degrees, but we're releasing this right hip down. So those toes turn a lot. We're heel to arch. Press to the mound of the big toe, the inner heel in that left foot. That starts to turn on this inner thigh, so it starts to wrap towards the outer left thigh. Arms reach up. Good. As you exhale and shift your hips off to the right, find all of this length through the left side. And you might even be feeling this in that left leg too. I always love triangle pose because you're always feeling it lots of different places in your body, and it can be quite different side to side. And again, hand can be resting on thigh, shin, block. You can play with the height. Do you feel your shoulder blades stack on top of each other? Keep trying to lengthen through that left side, especially find that on your inhale. And it's sealing into the back edge of that right foot is actually going to help you to find some of that length through the left side. Begin to spin your right palm to face behind you so you're externally rotating in that arm socket. Good. Bend the elbow so you can just press the back of your hand into your back. You might be able to grab a piece of shirt, lower left side. Maybe you can get your fingertips to the inside of that thigh. A lot of that has to do with anatomy sometimes too, just how long the limbs are, obviously how flexible we are. Wherever you're at, you get a little leverage to press that right shoulder head back. It's intense. Keep breathing. Maybe smile a little bit. Really nice work. All right. We're going to release the wrap, extend your left arm up, right arm up rather. Good. As you exhale, gaze down at your left toes. You can grab the block. Inhale, come on up. Parallel your feet. Good. Step your feet together. And if you do have a block, let's just go ahead and place it between our upper thighs. So let's just do a little Utkatasana with the block. So this is nice because it gives us some feedback. So you can really squeeze the block inwards. It's like you're going to spiral it back behind you. You're countering that by releasing your tailbone down. So this really helps to activate the legs a lot here. All right. So let's keep squeezing that block as we inhale, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Knees bend, arms reach up. Good. As you exhale, you hinge forward, stretch your arms back. It's like you're bombing down a mountain. Inhale back into your chair pose. Nice work. As you exhale, press your legs to straight. And if you don't have a block, you're just pretending. You're going to get the idea. Inhale, knees bend. Keep your belly pulling in and up as you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Keep your gaze slightly forward. Inhale back into your chair pose. Exhale, press your legs to straight. Couple more. Inhale. Exhale, fold in. You're going to feel those quads start to burn. Love that feeling. Inhale, back to chair. Exhale, press your legs to straight. One more. Inhale. Knees bend, belly squeezes in. Squeezing that block or that imaginary block. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, chair. Sink a little deeper as you exhale. Oh, inhale. Press legs to straight. Nice work. Hands come together at your heart. You can lose the block if you had it. All right, so you're at the top of your mat. Let's just do one classic round of our Surya Namaskara A here. So arms by your side. As you inhale, stretch arms out and up. Good. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward, keep looking forward. Bend your knees, plant your palms, right foot back, then left foot. We're going to take an extra inhale here in this plank pose. As you exhale, shift forward on your toes, maybe use your knees. You lower to halfway hover or all the way down. Good. Inhale into your low cobra or your upward facing dog. Nice work. As you exhale, downward facing dog. Tiny little adjustments here, and then you find this place of stillness. You reconnect with the sound of your breath. You feel that stretch of the sit bones up towards the ceiling, that lengthening through the backs of the legs, the lengthening through the spine. As you inhale, little bend in your knees, come to your tippy toes, peek where you're going. End of the exhale, you can walk forward, you can step right then left, or you can hop both feet through. Inhale, lengthen. Good. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, press into your feet, stretch arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. One more of those. Nice work. Inhale, stretch up, take space. Utthita Hastasana into Tadasana. Exhale, fold in, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Bend knees, plant palms on your exhale, left foot back, then right. On the same exhale, lower halfway, hover, or all the way down. Legs strong and active. Inhale into your upward facing dog or low cobra. As you exhale, downward facing dog. Breath smooth and steady. Good. From here, let's inhale, lift our right leg up. Hips stay even, feel those outer hips squeeze in towards each other so you're firing the glutes. As you exhale, step that foot through between your hands and then walk that foot off to the right so you're not on a tightrope. Maybe a little bend in that back knee so you can direct your tailbone down. As you inhale, rise up into your crescent pose. And you can take your arms out as wide as you need to so that you can start to bring those elbows to straight and you find that widening, that opening across the backs of your shoulders. Maybe begin to straighten that back leg a little bit, but if you come out of the front leg, take that bend in the back knee. Good, and then let's transition this into a warrior two. So we're gonna heel toe our right foot to the left, and then you're gonna spin into the back edge of that left foot. So we're heel to arch like our triangle pose, except for that we have this right knee bent. Extend your arms out. Good, so you're really pressing to the inner edge of that left foot, or right foot. It feels like you're pressing that right knee back behind you. This left hip is releasing down. Okay, so from here, nice and easy, as you inhale, reach left fingertips down that back leg, reverse your warrior. Feel those left ribs spiral up towards the ceiling. And then we're gonna press in to the inner edge of that right foot, begin to straighten that leg, so reverse triangle pose. Good, and then as we exhale, we transition to our triangle pose again. So again, hand on thigh, shin, fingertip to a block behind you. So we've been here already. You can sneak that back foot in a little bit if you need to. And then let's transition this into our Ardha Chandrasana. So let's start to bend the right knee, walk your right hand forward, and then step that back foot in, lift from the inseam of that foot. Good, so keep that lifted leg really active. You can keep a bend in the front knee. Maybe you eventually begin to straighten. And this right hand can also be on a block here. So toes are pointing forward. Breath is smooth and steady. Are you holding your breath? Nice work. It's only yoga, so if you fall out, no big deal. It's not too terribly far to the floor. Okay, so as graceful as you came in, you're gonna transition back into your Virabhadrasana 2. So you're gonna land with a deep bend in that right knee. Nice. Again, inhale, reverse your warrior. As you exhale, windmill arms up and over, spin onto your left toes, step back to your plank pose. From here, you take a chaturanga vinyasa or you pull back to your downward facing dog. Keep the legs really active as you come into your plank, chaturanga, and back bend. Good. From your downward dog, take a nice deep inhale. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go, ha. As you inhale, your left leg lifts, hips stay even, outer hips squeeze in towards each other so the glutes are firing a little bit, especially that right one. As you exhale, knee to nose, step that foot through. Make sure you're not on a tightrope. So you might need to heel toe that left foot to the left to start. Inhale, rise up, crescent pose. You can have a little bend in the back knee, so that just helps you to find space in the lower sides of the waist. Release your tailbone down. Maybe you stretch or straighten that back leg. Okay, so from here we transition to our Virabhadrasana 2. So heel toe, left foot to the right twice. Open up that back leg. We're heel to arch. Release arms out. Notice if you're leaning here in your torso. So it's squaring to the long edge of your mat. Gaze soft and gentle out over those left fingertips. Feels like you're pressing this left knee into a wall behind you. Nice work. Really fire up the back edge of that right leg. Inhale, top arm comes up and over. Reverse warrior. So feel all of this length. We're gonna try to hold on to that. So inhale, press in to the inner edge of that left foot, straighten that leg. So we're in our reverse warrior. Hold on to the length on both sides of the waist. We shift forward as we exhale, finding this triangle pose again. So we've been here before. How does it feel different already? Good. So really try to lengthen on your inhale through that left side. Feel the twisting of those left ribs up towards the ceiling. And then we move towards our Ardha Chandrasana. So begin to bend your left knee. Walk your hand forward about a foot. If you're on a block, take it with you. Good, and then you can step that back foot in. Really already start to engage this leg, so you're lifting from the inseam. That leg starts to lift, so those toes are flexing. You can keep a little bend in that left knee. Micro bend is especially nice if you're hyper flexible. If you have the death grip on those left toes, see if you can soften. Try to press more into the mound of the big toe, the inner heel. Feel this inner left thigh wrap towards your outer left thigh. Ardha Chandrasana, nice work. Breath is smooth and steady, gaze is soft and gentle. Again, it's only yoga. Okay, so let's start to bend our left knee a lot. You're gonna nice and lightly touch back down. Rise up, Virabhadrasana 2, beautiful work. As we inhale, we reverse our warrior here. As you exhale, windmill arms up and over. All right, so keep hips this low, step to your plank pose, and your choice. Pull back, downward facing dog, or take a chaturanga vinyasa if you want to build a little more heat. And we all meet back in our downward facing dog. Good. When you get to your downward facing dog, take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth. Sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. All right, so inhale, right leg lifts. As you exhale, use your belly to help step that foot through. Make sure you're not on a tightrope. As we inhale, we rise up, crescent pose. Good. So from here, we transition into our Virabhadrasana 2. So heel toe, right foot to the left. Good. Find your warrior 2. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Good. Exhale, press that front leg to straight. So reverse triangle. Take a deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, we find our triangle pose again. This time, let's take that wrap again. Let's visit that. So start to spin the palm to face behind you. Bend the elbow. So pressing hand to the back. Maybe fingertips come to the inside of your left thigh, right thigh. And then let's see if we can stay in the wrap. Transition into our Ardha Chandrasana again. So start to bend that right leg. Reach your fingertips forward. Probably have to step that back foot in and then fire up that leg. So really flex the foot, lift from the inseam, and then open up. Keep leaning that left shoulder head back. And then if you want to play with the balance a little more, you're probably going to have to bring your gaze slightly forward, maybe even down. Try to keep those right ribs lifting up. But then perhaps you can lift your right fingertips off the mat. Nice work. Good. Let's transition back into our warrior 2 with the wrap here. Good. So go ahead and release. As you inhale, stretch your arms up overhead. Straighten that front leg. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Take a nice deep inhale. And then exhale, windmill arms up and over. Spin onto those left toes, step to plank pose. Take a Chaturanga Vinyasa if you'd like, or you simply find your downward facing dog. All right. So that little sequence, the second side, just kind of keep adding on here as we inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step that foot through. One breath, inhale, rise up, crescent pose. As you exhale, make that transition, heel toe, left foot to the right. Open up, Virabhadrasana 2. Good. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, press to the inner edge of that left foot to bring that foot to straight. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then as we exhale, we find our triangle pose. Keep pressing to the inner edge of that left foot. And then spin your right palm to face behind you. Bend the elbow. Find that shoulder opener. So pressing that right shoulder head back. Fingertips might come to the inside of that left thigh. Doesn't matter if you're there. And then we're going to transition with our wrap into our Ardha Chandrasana. So just give it a go. If it doesn't work, that's okay. So keep chest open, bring your gaze down. Bend this left knee. Walk your block in your left hand forward. Step this back foot in and then engage that inner thigh a lot. Flex the foot to start to lift. Maybe eventually straightening that left thigh. Breath smooth and steady. Good. And then if you want to play with that balance, so you kind of have to engage that side waist, that left side waist. Maybe reach your left fingertips up off the mat. Or where you're looking at, your drishti really helps with the balance of that too. Okay, release back down. We transition back into our Virabhadrasana 2 legs with this wrap. Okay, as we inhale, release. Press legs to straight, reach arms up overhead. Hallelujah. As you exhale, find your Virabhadrasana 2. Take a nice deep inhale here. As you exhale, windmill your arms up and over. Step to your plank pose, take a chaturanga vinyasa if you would like. If you're getting cooked, you skip it, you pull back to your downward facing dog. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, ha. And then let's go ahead and take a quick little child's pose here. So lower down onto your knees. Knees a little wider than hips distance apart. Melt your hips back as you stretch your chest forward. So visiting this pose again, how does it feel different? Overall, how is your body feeling different? Of course, you're feeling a lot of heat, so start to stretch the breath out, slow it down. Kind of shifting gears here. All right, so from this child's pose, slowly start to roll on up, return to your back. So we're gonna do some active bridge pose again, just a couple variations here. Before we do that, let's actually get into the core a little more. So just a little more core work. So again, couple of options here. We're just gonna intensify things a little bit now that we're warm and ready. So arms by your side. If there's tenderness underneath your lower back, hands are gonna go underneath those sit bones. Otherwise, hands by side is good. So bend knees in and then extend your legs to straight. Find that Barbie foot so you're pointing and flexing at the same time. Take a nice deep inhale here. As you exhale, take that full breath to lower the right leg down until it almost touches. Inhale, lift up, so nice and slow. Exhale, left leg extends forward. Inhale up. So we're not like trying to find momentum to do this. We're really trying to do this with a lot of kind of slow, steady work. If you feel like you'd like a little more here, maybe the arms reach up overhead. And then finally, if you want to play with doing both legs at the same time and there's like not any funky things going on in your lumbar, you can play with that. Take little breaks if you need to. Hug the knees into your chest. This is a lot of hip flexor work, so you're going to feel that on the front of the legs too, especially if you're doing both legs at the same time. Good. So if you're doing one leg at a time, let's say 2 more to each side. If you're doing both legs, see if you can get like 3 or 4 more in. And when you're done, you'll give the knees a real gentle squeeze. Good, and then this bridge pose is gonna feel really fantastic after that core work. So feet land on the mat, ankles underneath your knees, edges of the feet parallel with the edges of the mat. Let's engage the glutes a lot here as we come up. So inhale, notice how there's that natural curve in the lumbar spine. As you exhale, start directing tailbone forward. You lose that curve, the hips start to lift up off the mat as you press into your feet. Good, notice if you start to roll to the outer edge of your feet, keep pressing evenly. And then you can either grab the outer edges of your mat, walk your hands towards your heels, snuggle your shoulders underneath you, or you can interlace your fingers underneath you. Same thing. So not only do we have feet pressing into the mat, it's kind of like our shoulders become feet pressing into the mat as well. As you inhale, feel your sternum, that thoracic, kind of melt up towards the chin. Couple more good breaths. Good. As you exhale, go ahead and release the mat. Release the interlacing of your fingers, lower down. Arms by your side, a breath or two here. We're going to take one more with a leg variation. So as you inhale, press into your feet, lift up. Again, you can interlace fingers underneath you. You can have arms by your side. You can even do robot arms. Sometimes that feels nice. You kind of bend at the elbow. You can really press into that upper arm. Good. Keep rooting down into your left foot. Start to bend the right knee in and then extend that foot up towards the ceiling. Try to keep hips even. You can even take your fingertips there to make sure that you're feeling that. Keep breathing. Exhale, release that foot down. Inhale, press evenly into both feet. Feel those hips lift evenly. And then keep rooting into that right foot. Inhale, left knee bends in and then extends to straight. So Viparita. Setubandha Sarvangasana, so one-legged bridge pose. Deep inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale, press into both feet evenly. Feel those hips rise evenly. And then as you exhale, you release down. Hug knees in, rock a little bit from side to side. And then let's start to roll forward and back on the spine if that feels okay. Otherwise, again, you just roll off to one side or the other. Come up to seated, and we're going to take our legs out wide into Upavista. So this can be really nice if you're practicing on a hard surface today. Just kind of slide back so that your heels are on the mat. Maybe you have a block here. You might want to use a strap. So we're going to do a little asymmetrical side bend. So block comes to the inside of that right thigh, might be down by the shin, root into your sit bones. You also might be sitting on a blanket here too, especially if you tend to be a little tighter in the trunk area through the spine. All right, so we're gonna lay our right forearm on that block. You might have that forearm on your shin. You might even be able to bring it to the floor to the inside of that leg. So lots of little variations, kind of just depends on how tight your body is. Left fingertips come to this left hip. Start to spin your chest open towards the ceiling. Notice what's happening with your feet. We get lazy with the feet, so really point those toes up towards the ceiling. And this can be quite intense just being here like this, so this might be where you stay. A couple of us might bring the fingertips, left fingertips to the back of the neck, kind of lean that left elbow back. So again, kind of a little shoulder stretch there. Finally, you might start to extend that left arm up and over any amount. Keep finding that action though of these right ribs spinning up towards the ceiling. And then finding your breath here, kind of slowing it down. Good job, everybody. So from here, we're just going to start to unwind. So we're going to bring our torso to face towards that extended right leg. So one hand on either side. This is a really great place if you're really tight to take a strap around your foot. You can be pretty upright here. You're going to be feeling that stretch. This left sit bone is going to lift up off the mat a little bit. That's okay. Kind of just imagine that you have somebody there kind of gently anchoring you down. That might mean that you come out of the forward fold a little bit, but you'll be feeling that nice stretch. Good work. All right, as we inhale, we rise on up here, and then we set that up for the second side, which will feel entirely different. So just place that block wherever you think you might need it. And if you don't have one, you can just take your hand to your thigh or to your shin. So anchor into sit bones. feet active. So releasing that left shin, forearm down. Start to spin left ribs up towards the ceiling. So you just might stay here like this the whole time with your right fingertips on that right hip. You're getting the pose, you're getting all the things. Maybe fingertips come to the back of your head, you lean that elbow back. Nice. Maybe you extend that top arm up and over. As you do that, keep trying to find this action of left rib spinning up. Check in with your feet again, make sure that they're still active and engaged. Breath smooth and steady, couple more here. Good, deep inhale. Nice work, Kyla. As you exhale, unwind. So you're facing towards that extended left leg. You might be completely upright. That's absolutely fine. This counts. Maybe you're forward folding any amount. Maybe you're taking a strap around that foot. So find where you need to be on this side. And then just imagine that you have me there, kind of gently pressing down on that right thigh, helping you to anchor down into your sit bones. Nice deep inhale. As you exhale, sigh the breath out. Ha. And then inhale, start to upright yourself. Square your torso to the long side of your mat. Take your hands underneath your knees. Draw in. And then give yourself a squeeze here. And we're going to make our way towards our final resting pose, Shavasana. So come onto your back again. If you wanted to take legs up a wall today, that can feel really nice. Otherwise, classic Shavasana, you could take blocks underneath your knees, a blanket underneath your knees, particularly if there's any tension in your lower back. You can also just simply bend knees, take feet wide as the mat, and then allow knees to knock in towards each other. Take your arms out wide. So you have that openness across your shoulders. You can feel those shoulder blades heavy in the mat underneath you. And then close your eyes here. And give yourself permission to really soak up these final quiet moments of your yoga practice. You worked hard to get here, so really enjoy this. Let your body completely relax and release. Shavasana. Good. Take a deeper inhale. Let the breath go and just begin to wiggle fingers, toes. So bringing some gentle movement back to your body, bringing your awareness back to your body. Staying soft and quiet, roll to one side or the other. Just find the fetal position. And then you'll use your hands to help you press up to a comfortable seat. One final check-in, so noticing how you feel different than when you started an hour ago. Hopefully there's a little more space in your spine. It feels like you're sitting a little taller with a greater sense of ease. Hopefully your breath feels a little steadier and richer as a result of body and breath working together. Hopefully your head space is a little lighter, a little clearer, more focused. Send yourself love and gratitude. Send your body love and gratitude for showing up and working hard. And just promise yourself that you're going to carry some of this feeling with you into the rest of the day, the rest of the week ahead. Bring your palms together at your heart. Bow your head with a smile. Terrific work today. Thank you, everyone. So good to see you.